Hey there, Schenk here with a quick welcome message to our new members. So, welcome to Graceful Email Marketing. Congratulations on enrolling. I am positive you will have a massive outcome. You will have big changes because I've had a look at all the homework you've sent in and it is 100% aligned with what we're doing here. You're on the right path. So, no one likes introductions. Everyone skips introductions. So this is, I was going to call it something else. Let's call it something else, not introduction, but the chicken soup recipe for success. And the term comes from the good old days when I was at university. When I did my PhD, I included, instead of the usual blah blah blah, I'd like to thank everyone, I just said, hey, I'd like to thank everyone. And to show you my appreciation, I included a recipe for chicken soup I had perfected over the years, and it was lovely. There you go. So chicken soup recipe for success. Here we go. We want to do, or what I'm going to show you is here, the essential components, what this course is about, and how it's different from what you've maybe done before, and how it's going to impact what we're doing here. So first of all, we're going to talk about direct response marketing, because that's what we're doing here. We're talking about lean startup. We were talking about proven winners, and the favorite of all, we all love John Wayne. So let's dive in. So the overall objective, if you remember, is basically 5 things. The first one is we want to have clarity exactly what to focus on in a very, very step-by-step way so we can eliminate overwhelm. It's been shown over and over again. It's my personal experience. It's the experience of everyone I have talked to. The moment you remove any uncertainty what the next step is, overwhelm goes out of the window. And it's basically if you were to summarize David Allen's book, Getting Things Done, it's exactly that. You need to focus on one specific thing as a next thing, and then overwhelm goes out of the window, and you actually get very, very productive. So that's what we're going to do here. You're going to end up not only with clarity on what to do, but actually you're going to end up doing it. Also, secondly, we're going to remove any anxiety around the value you provide. So you can you can communicate with confidence, and there's no need for fake it until you make it. So again, there's a huge reason why many people know they should be building a list or they should be doing email marketing, but they're not doing it. There's a reason why people don't put their offer out online or into the marketplace, because they have anxiety around the value you provide. And we're going to fix that in here, in a way that has nothing to do with sales psychology and evil tricks, but actually by figuring out what people really want and helping you figure out where your true value is. Because there's a big difference between what we're led to believe by the marketplace. So, a classic example would be, hey, coaching is easy. You can go out and be a coach and, really help people. And, a lot of people who have that coaching bent, the coaching gene, they think, oh, yeah, that really sounds good. And then they're led down a path of thinking, well, I have to do this one thing. And quite often, I would say in most cases, your talent is in some sub-niche of the overall picture, or it's maybe something totally different. And we're going to go into that so you can unearth your true talent, for which I can guarantee there will be demand in the marketplace. Alrighty, number 3, you want to go from I know I should be building a list to actually building and nurturing a list, or building a relationship with that list. So many people know they should be building a list, and I admit it took me far longer than it should have to get to that point, and learn from my mistakes and start building a list right now. Now here is a sneaky little thing we're going to put in, and that is basically you're going to go to the place where you can walk the talk. It kind of sounds a bit strange, but what is happening, there are a lot of coaches out there who provide some kind of marketing services. And if you are in that area, unfortunately, there are a lot of people who they can provide those services, they can provide them in theory and even be of immense value in practice, but they're not actually walking the talk. And we're going to get to the point where you are actually walking the talk, but not only walking it, but actually strutting it, really with full confidence. And it all has to do with the one poster boy. So if you have one poster boy who really succeeded with your thing, and you succeed with your own thing, if you have that one big success story, you can build an entire business around that and do it with confidence. Truly put your stuff out there. That is the kind of stuff you can put on CNN and entrepreneur.com, etc., etc. Everyone needs to start with that one success story, and once that is in place, everything else is very, very easy. It flows from there. So with this, you're building up a beautiful system for attracting leads and converting them into buyers. And if that is the kind of thing you are offering as a service, or you're offering it in your coaching, you now, at the end of this, you have something you can point to and say, look, here, I'm actually walking the talk. And of course, above all, you can make sales with this whilst maintaining massive goodwill. So that is the overall objective. That is what we're aiming for. So let's have a look. The biggest obstacle to building a list, to communicating via email, is this one thing. And it's basically your head, or more importantly, the stuff in your head. I kid you not, the actual technology of doing this thing is really, really easy. Writing emails with confidence is a matter of doing a bit of practice, or practicing a little bit. At the end of it all, it's basically all these beliefs we have in our head. Do I have enough value? Do I provide enough value? What can I write? In what tone? What voice? How do I find my voice? All of these things. It's basically all this inner dialogue in your head, and that is exactly what I want to do here. To turn that around, where you go, well, I can totally ignore this and write with confidence. So let's have a look. And my down button doesn't work anymore. There we go. So number one, like I said, there are 4 areas, concluding with John Wayne. Number one, direct response marketing. Well, just yesterday I was talking to Colin, and Colin said, "Fight, can you build a website for me?" And he came with a list of items he wanted. Here is the website I'd like to have, and I want to have on there an about page and an opt-in page. He called it opt-in page. We had a big laugh because I called it squeeze page, which is the standard term in our industry, and Colin went, what do you mean by squeeze page? So there you go, we learned something new. So Colin had this big list, and he said, okay, for the sign-up process, I would like to have the the squeeze page or opt-in page, and then 3 videos, a sequence of 3 videos plus an offer at the end. And it turns out that is far too complicated. But first of all, it's going to overwhelm you. Just having in your head all these unknowns, all this stuff you need to do, and actually implementing it is quite labor intensive. So we go back to good old Drayton Bird. And Drayton Bird's answer to my question in 2006 during the World Cup in London, we were talking in London, my question to him was, what is the secret of making money with marketing, making money online, with your website kind of stuff? And he says, well, the answer is you have absolutely no idea what to put out there. The market is going to tell you. Now that is immensely powerful, that statement, because basically tells you that you no longer need to worry about putting the right stuff out there. The market is truly going to tell you. Now, the big secret is, you now want to go out and test your idea very, very quickly, as opposed to building this giant system, the nice polished website and the entire opt-in process, etc., just to find out, well, your market doesn't actually want your thing. So, upshot of all of this is that basically we don't need to worry about landing pages, we don't need to worry about getting the entire website up, we need to worry about what to put in the email sequences. We just focus on the one thing that's important and then move forward, which brings us to the fact that all of this is an iterative process. Alrighty, so we've got this program, and we are going to talk about various aspects of it, of the entire process, landing pages, etc. But really, at the end of the day, it's an iterative process, meaning we go out and we pick a traffic to offer match. So TOM, traffic offer match, meaning we pick a traffic source. That could be paid traffic, it could be a list, it could be someone else's list, it could be just finding and phoning up your friends and saying, hey, go check this out. And then we decide on an offer, and we see what happens. And basically, either it's a good traffic to offer match or it's not. But at the end of the day, our ego is completely removed from this now. Everyone and anyone can test their way to success without feeling rejected. And that is the big thing that is holding people back. There's oh no, I put this offer out here and people really didn't like it. It's oh, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. It was just either the right audience and a bad offer. Your offer just didn't resonate with the audience, or it was the wrong audience and it was a brilliant offer. Just those people you talked to didn't like it. And then basically we proceed based on that feedback. And that's why this whole thing is iterative, and it's much better than going out and building this giant thing just to find out that no one likes it. So the big takeaway, and this is the one to basically take out some paint and draw it, paint it on your wall so it's there forever, is the good old power of one. It is so tempting to go out, right, I'm going to use this email marketing system and I'll apply it for whatever, providing coaching, and I'll also do it for creating some affiliate system over here, and I'll do it here to do some consulting in another niche, etc. Far too many people go out and spread themselves thin, thinking, well, if I put out 10 systems, surely one of them is going to succeed. And although statistically speaking that is probably right, the real power is in optimizing your one process. So you go in and we do some quick tests. That is the fundamental assumption of this whole system. We'll go through that in a second. That we do some quick tests to see if your idea has legs. And if it does have legs, then we focus all our effort on just that one thing, as opposed to saying, well, this is kind of making some money and now I'll go and do something else, create another system. So power of one is, once we figured out something has legs and has potential, then we focus all our effort on really getting the perfect traffic source, or a bunch of good traffic sources, and finding out what are the best offers, really high converting offers for particular traffic sources. Because over time you might find out, well, the one traffic source you picked, for example, say Facebook, you're putting out Facebook ads, you might find out, and you typically will find out, that if you split that target audience using demographics and likes and interests into two different groups, putting two different offers in front of them, you now have two very, very effective and much more effective than having this bunched together group. So you end up with two different but more effective lead gen funnels that all go into your main offer. So the program itself you're going through here, Graceful Email Marketing, is iterative, but of course I have to present it in a linear fashion. So what we're going to do here is, of course, outline, you already know this. We're going to talk about, first of all, about the offer, what to put on a squeeze page, and it's all based around, having an idea of what your target audience roughly want. And this is the beauty of this. We don't have to have perfection. We don't have to have that, sit down for hours and hours and think about what is the perfect avatar. Who cares? We just get a rough idea, quickly put it out there, and see what happens. Then we look in module number 2 at the product, or more importantly, the funnel, and that begins with you. What can you truly offer, and what do you feel comfortable offering, and what do you not feel comfortable offering, and then we figure out throughout your funnel, beginning from the ad where people are supposed to click, through the opt-in page or squeeze page, throughout the funnel, back-end sales, everything, OTOs, the whole thing. What kind of products can you stick in there? Then, of course, the email sequence glue that sticks it all together. And finally, we'll have traffic, which is the bonus module at the end. Now, as you can see, we had to go through it in some sequence, but if we look at the concept of TOM, traffic offer match, we kind of need to go, well, what's first? Is it my offer? Is it my product? Is it my... Now, in order to offer something, I need to have a product. In order to have a product, I need, etc., etc. So we're going through this in linear fashion, and we're saying, look, let's start with an offer, and we put it in front of whatever traffic source we can, instinctively think of. And who cares if it's right or not? We just get some feedback from the market. And then based on that feedback, we'll start looking for better traffic sources, better offers, but also start thinking, truly refining the product. And that way, we don't have to worry about having everything in place first. But we just put an offer in front of some traffic, get some feedback. If it works, cool, we do more of it. And incidentally, I will be answering the question, what do you do if you suddenly get lots of people saying, yeah, I want it, but you haven't got it? No worries, we'll cover that. So, module or part number 2, big assumption number 2 is basically lean startup. So, what we're doing there, lean startup is all about putting the bare bones product or offer out there. That's it. There's no point, and I've seen this so often in practice. I was called in to help someone who was going to put together the ultimate in mobile marketing product. I mean everything. He was going to do mobile web pages, mobile traffic, mobile, everything, apps, absolutely everything. And he spent half a year creating this massive product and never got it off the ground. So what we're doing here with Lean Startup is basically put the bare bones product offer out there and get some feedback. And then basically if they want our most basic thing, well, we proceed based on that feedback. And if they don't want it, goodbye, we do something else. We choose a new traffic source, we pick a new offer, and just iterate until we get something. Now, very important with lean startup, it's not just listening to what the market wants, because you might end up with the wrong target audience. You might end up with a situation where lots and lots of people want your front-end offer, but you're not making any money on the back end. So lean startup goes a little bit beyond just getting feedback from the marketplace. It's always tied to outcomes, namely building a list with great relationships and then whatever your business outcome is. So the expectation throughout this program here is for you, each week we'll do the lean version, or have the lean version done. This is the bare bones version. It's not the perfect version, and no one should expect to get the perfect version done, except we get something done very, very quickly and then start using it. Number 3, proven winners. Alrighty, big one here. Big takeaway from years and years of doing this, okay? There are no untapped niches. If you find an untapped niche, there is a huge risk, namely, you have no idea that if there are proven buyers, you have no knowledge about their behavior. And if you think back to the first big point I mentioned, which was direct response marketing, it's all figuring out how people respond, what they respond to. And part of that thing we're looking for is we want to figure out what is their buying behavior, how do people buy. I'll give you a quick example. A few years ago, I did a project. I set up a couple of websites around tattoos with the intention of recommending a couple of tattoo design websites on the website. Well, on ClickBank, you get an affiliate commission if someone signs up for the database of tattoo designs. Now, it turns out people browse online for ideas to get inspiration for tattoos, but they will never ever, when I say never ever, 99% of people who get a tattoo will not go and get this thing downloaded online and go to the tattoo artist. The big secret is that basically tattoo artists see themselves as artists. So if you go in there and say, photocopy this thing onto my skin, they're kind of offended. They prefer if you give them some leeway. You give them an idea, hey, I'd like to have, a dragon or whatever. And then they make some suggestions of what they could do. And then they are basically in an artistic role there, as opposed to just someone who makes a photocopy. So the buying process for someone who's in the tattoo niche is not going out and basically, signing up to a database, downloading all the tattoo thingies, and then going to the tattoo artist. And that was basically the downfall of the entire project. And that is what I'm saying here. If you think you've got an untapped niche, like, oh, I've got this great thing here for getting, using meditation to get really relaxed, and it happens to work really well with people who are into alternative energy, and it also works really well with people who are into organic food, and also works really well with people who are into meditation. So clearly, it's a proven concept. Now I'm going to take it into the business world. I'm going to target C-level executives because they are, highly stressed. But if you have no prior knowledge or no proven C-level executives buying your meditation course, that is a truly untapped market, and therefore it's a huge risk, simply because you have no idea what their buying process is. And yes, over time, you can come up with the right traffic to offer match. But there's a huge risk, namely, you don't know if it is going to work, and if it is going to work, the power of the process of getting to the point where you have a truly optimized sales funnel may take quite a while, because you have to do lots and lots of tests to figure out what's really going on. So the big takeaway here is, when it's the first time you're building a graceful email marketing system, please, please, please start with something that is proven. And in the course, we will go through how to do that, how to figure out if it's proven or not. If you decide to ignore what I'm telling you here and you decide to go untapped, then go lean extreme. I'm the absolute barest of bare bone versions, because if you then start building out and overcomplicating, it'll just be too frustrating. And finally, the good old John Wayne. It should have been number 4 John Wayne, but because of course John Wayne is number 1, we couldn't possibly put a number next to him. So the idea of John Wayne is that basically we love winners who strut their stuff. Okay, you see someone on stage talking with confidence. about their topic, and everyone goes, wow, they're awesome. Or you go to a webinar and you see someone who's presenting their credentials that, oh look, I was on CNN and I was on whatever, ABC, and etc., etc. We love winners who are full of confidence, and it really comes across slick and well presented and everything. Now, here's the big secret: nobody is born a John Wayne. Okay, everyone starts with self-doubt and is this stuff gonna work, and practicing is awful. The upshot of this is you can expect that the first stab at doing a graceful email marketing system is not going to be perfect, and it would be unreasonable to expect it. I give you the example. When I started doing live video, so standing in front of a camera, me just dancing around in front of a whiteboard or a blackboard back then, it was awful. The very first time I did a video of myself talking to the camera, it took me 20, I kid you not, 20 takes just to say, hello, my name is Feitschenk. 20 takes to say my name, for crying out loud. Okay? I'm not suggesting getting a reasonably good email marketing system up is going to take you 20 takes. No, it's not, because doing just one stab will be a million times better than doing nothing. So if you're sitting there going, I don't know where to start, well, that answer or that question is going to be answered right here. And just doing that very first thing, that bare bone thing, is going to be a million times better than doing nothing. And then you build from there. With practice, you will become perfect. These days, when I sit down and write an email, it flows out. And I'm not saying that to show off anything. It is the result of doing lots and lots of practice, trying out stuff, looking at the feedback, and over time, you will become perfect. So let's go. Let's look at what we can do. Let's do it. So as Drayton says, let's summarize here. The market will tell you. No point like putting your ego or looking at anything in the sense of its rejection. No, the market will tell you, and anyone, I kid you not, anyone can test their way to success. Let's go lean, please, and let's go lean extreme if you decide to ignore my advice to go into proven markets, which we will be covering. Let's go with what is proven to work. And let's not reinvent the wheel here. And finally, practice makes perfect. And of course, taking some action beats taking no action every single time. The only guarantee I can give you is that if you're not taking any action, you're not going to get any results. So let's go. And the important thing here with all of this is that please do ask, okay? I'm here for you. You enrolled in this program to get results. You enrolled here to get a result like a fully functioning email marketing system, but really underlying, you had issues like, is my stuff good enough? Am I valuable enough? We're answering that. What do I write about so people actually think it's valuable? We do all of that. Now, at some point throughout this process, you will or may have obstacles where you go, I'm not quite sure, and I really feel uncomfortable doing this, or is that really going to work, or is it the right order to do it? Ask. Simply ask me, and I'll help you out. Alrighty? So let's go. Let's do it. Bye. See you in the next module.